Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm bringing you my TBR for Victorian October or Victober. If you don't know what Victober is, I will leave all of the information linked down below in the description. I will leave links to the three wonderful hosts, Kate, Katie and Lucy. Basically, this is a month-long readathon in October that is dedicated to encouraging you to read more Victorian literature than you normally would. I have participated in Victober every year since it's begun, I think. I'm 99% sure I have. And I kind of use it as a way of giving myself a little kick up the butt to read some of the classics on my TBR. I think a lot of people think I'm a really massive classics reader, probably because I now sit in front of my Penguin English Library books, but I'm really not, especially not since I graduated university. I definitely want to read more classics than I do. I just never find myself really drawn to them. So Victober is a really great way of me finding the motivation to read those books. There are a number of challenges which you can participate in for this readathon. I'm not going to do the challenges this year. I think what I'm going to do in this TBR is basically go through every Victorian book on my TBR and see which ones I'm feeling like reading. So the Victorian era is from 1837 to 1901. I'm just going to start pulling the Victorian books off my shelves, essentially. Let's start with this pile of Dickens books. I think I should definitely read one Dickens book. Going chronologically, the Pickwick Papers was published in 1837. This one is massively chunky and I don't feel like that this month. Then we've got Oliver Twist, which was published in 1839. I know kind of like the basic kind of idea about this book that I think most people know. Then we've got A Tale of Two Cities, which was published in 1859. Great Expectations, which was published in 1861. And then The Mystery of Edwin Drude was published in 1870. I think this was published after Charles Dickens died and it's not finished. So I think I would like to read all of his finished novels before I get round to this one, which means we may be waiting a while. I think the one I'm most drawn to is A Tale of Two Cities. All I know about this book really is it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it's set in London and Paris. That's all I really know, but I'm not intimidated by the size of it, which is often a problem with me in classics. Oh, and I've already read Hard Times and A Christmas Carol. Pop George Eliot back on, I've read all of those. Okay, now forgetting Dickens, we've dealt with that one. I'm going to start going through them chronologically now. So we have Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. No. You know what's going to happen though is that when I eventually start to get to the end of my classics TBR, I'm just going to be left with these chunky ones. Next we have Shirley by Charlotte Bronte, which was published in 1849. This is actually the group read for Victober this year, but I don't know. I'm going to put this down as a maybe for now. I haven't had the best relationship with Charlotte Bronte in the past. Moby Dick by Herman Melville was published in 1851 and abso-fucking-lutely not. No chance am I reading this, potentially ever, but definitely this month. Okay, so next up chronologically we have the Chronicles of Barsetshire series, is that what it's called? So the first book in this series, The Warden, was published in 1855. I don't think I have all the books in the series. I think I might be missing the last one, but the latest one that I do have is The Small House at Allington, which was published in 1864. Now the first book, The Warden, is actually really short, so I feel like this should go on my TBR. I'm gonna put it on the maybe pile for now because I feel like once I start this, then I've committed to the series and, you know, I've got commitment issues. I also have Scenes of Clerical Life by George Eliot, which was published in 1857. And this is a collection of 3 short stories, so I think I can at least read one of these. I do have like a long-term goal of reading all of George Eliot's work, and I haven't actually read anything by her this year, although I did do a very in-depth analysis of one of my favourite novels of all time, Middlemarch, which I will leave linked down below in the description if you are someone that is really into classics and doing deep dives on them. I've tried to make the video also like entertaining. I don't think it's like a dry video. I think this is going on the yes pile. If not all 3 short stories, then definitely like one of them. Next we have Under the Greenwood Tree by Thomas Hardy, which was published in 1872. I have actually read half of this book before, but I DNF'd it just because I was reading it like at a really busy time in my life and I just couldn't concentrate on any reading. I think this would be a really great one for me to actually finish reading this Victober. I think because I've already read like half of it, I will find it quite quick to get through. And, you know, it's short anyway, so. The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James was published in 1881. Again, it's not huge, like it's not the biggest book on my TBR, but, and this was in my 5 classics I want to read next video, but, you know, the expectations of your reading, they're always subject to change, and I don't think it's the time for this book. The Adventures of of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain was published in 1884, and it was also in that same list of 5 classics I want to read next. I don't know what it is about like American classics. Even if I know they are from the Victorian era, I just don't, they don't like live in that space in my head. Does that make sense to anyone? The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy was published in 1886, and another Hardy, Drude the Obscure, was published in 1895. As I've already got another Hardy on my TBR, I'm not going to add these two to my list for this Victober, but their time will come. The 5 Orange Pips and Other Cases by Arthur Conan Doyle. This is a collection of Sherlock Holmes short stories, and it's really reflecting my ring light. I've read quite a lot of Sherlock Holmes stories in the past, and I have read an Arthur Conan Doyle book this year, so I'm not going to prioritise him for this Victober. And that is it. They are all of the Victorian books on my TBR. Now to finalise what I'm actually going to be reading this Victober. So I think these are my 3 definites. So my 3 definites are A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, Under the Greenwood Tree by Thomas Hardy, and Scenes of a Clerical Life by George Eliot. And I have 2 books on my maybe pile. I have The Warden by Anthony Trollope and Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. So why do I not want to read these books? I don't feel like I'm ready to commit to a series, but this is so short. And I feel like adding this one on top of these ones, when I am going to be reading other books in October, I'm not just going to be reading Victorian books. I think that might be a bit ambitious, but it is the group read. So I'm going to put these down as maybes. They will remain maybes. They are my MBR, they are my might be read. Although let's be honest, these are a might be read as well. But this is manageable. I can do this. I believe in myself. I can do this. I'm not trying to convince you, I'm trying to convince me. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are participating in Victober, what you are excited to read, or if you have a favourite Victorian book that you would like to recommend to me. Are there any of the books that I said no to that you think I really should read? I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Or if you don't have anything to say, just leave me a little emoji. I hope you guys are doing well, and if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please do hit that subscription button. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video.